Actually, I put my phone to silent. It'll happen.
Oh, yeah, already done.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Oh.
Well, my rule is case of beer. If you're on set and your phone goes off, it's a case of beer.
Oh.
That's
Yep.
always me. Every time I say that, it rings like within 15 minutes.
There we go.
So I put on a lot of piss at the rap parties, obviously, because oh yeah, don't do as I say, not as I do. I'm terrible in that way. All right, so we ready to go, Mr. Wayne?
Yeah, sure are.
All right, and welcome to the Pagey Train. Today I have in the studio with me Cerise and Laura from After You Productions. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thanks
Thanks for having us.
Oh, guys, you have been breaking necks and cutting checks. The film...
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, it was... I've forgotten the name of the film now. After Eva? Because of Eva?
Because of
Eva. Eva. Because of Eva. I really liked your film, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It scored very well. It did very well at the festival and was well received.
That's good.
Yeah, zombie film always does. I think out of the time of the festival, we've now shown about... I think we've screened over 300 films for Western Sydney.
That's good.
And a good cohort of that is zombie films. And I think you guys are definitely in the top 3, probably the top 2.
Wow.
Maybe even the winner. I'd have to go back and check
Top
it.
2.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's one of those things that it's one of those access genres, right? So, you know,
Yeah.
we're going to make a,
Totally.
a zombie film. Some of the it's a hit and miss with zombie films, right? So it's either like good or it's like shockingly bad. But there's another scale where it's so shockingly bad it's good.
Yeah.
That's true.
You got to be one or the other. You can't be, in the middle. You have to be like either terrible or amazing. I loved you.
Yeah. We don't do
Yeah.
mediocre. We just do
No.
extreme.
That's right.
That's right.
Got to go to one of the extremes.
Yeah. It's horror. I mean, that's what we do.
Well, so you guys co-directed because of Ava.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So how do you form a co-directorship?
Well,
We fight for it.
Beyond Thunderdome.
we met at uni, so we've known each other a very long time. We were very close, and we also just had the same ambitions. I think we wanted to be actors, and we just weren't getting work. And then COVID happened, and Laura was going like, "Oh, let's just make our own stuff." And I go like, "No, I don't want to. It's too hard." And then COVID happened. I thought, "All right, let's do it."
Yeah.
And then we have this similar tastes. We agree on most things. We'll watch movies and go like, that was crap. I'm like, this is why. And you go like, oh my God, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's
or like,
right.
I loved that. This is why. Oh my God, same. I think the same. So it was easy for us to work together because we're just so similar.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're reading each other's minds, really. I'll think of something, then she goes, I was just about to say that. I was like, okay. So it makes it easy for us to co-direct because of that.
Yeah, it's one of those rare things because as a muso, as a director, as a budding actor, you run into those situations where you're like, this is angular and difficult, but sometimes you just meet people, you go, it just clicks.
Yeah.
And especially in that artistic space where there's a language going on, there's a jargon going on, there's you got to understand how script writing goes, how editing goes, how directing goes, and that's sort of, some of that comes from education, but some of that comes from experience as well.
Totally.
Yeah, like I've always said, it's like when you join a band, a lead guitarist needs to fall in love with a singer.
Yeah.
A bass guitarist needs to fall in love with a drummer. A director needs to fall in love with a cinematographer. A writer needs to fall in love with an editor. Like there has to be some sort of trust, respect, understanding, willing to be vulnerable.
That's true.
And that's a rare sort of scenario to have because it's usually when we do these things, they can be quite ego-driven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we also willing to ask questions because we were honest with people in our crew because we didn't go to film school. So we learned as we went and we said like,
Love it.
okay, we're honest, we're learning.
Yeah.
So bear with us.
That's
And if they use this jargon that we don't understand, okay, cool. What does that mean? Just
Great.
being honest. And then people, I think, respect that. They respect the honesty. And then we go like, we want to work with you. We obviously, we're the directors, we have a vision, but what do you think? What's your take on it? Because we want people to feel like their voices are getting heard.
Yeah. Yeah, there is those kind of different scenarios. Like with the director, you have the dictatorship. These are the lines, these are the shots, and it has to be this way. And we're going to do 17 takes until we get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's the collaborative artist where it goes, okay, cinematographer, I've got this idea. Is this achievable in this space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big one. Is it
Yeah.
achievable?
Exactly. Exactly. Because again, we didn't go to film school, and especially with Because of Ava, that was our very first short film. So that was definitely a big learning curve.
That was your first short.
Very
Yeah.
first short.
Oh wow, ladies! Wow, you've hit it out of the park, man. Yeah,
you.
I think the only like if I can only criticize the film in one way, it's the duration. I reckon, yeah, if you're
Too
short,
long or too short?
long, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think as a
Yeah.
curator, it's hard to get a 15-minute film in. So to get in with a 15-minute film is very good at any festival. A lot of winners will be 15-minute films, by the way.
Right,
So that's
okay.
my disclaimer in this comment.
Okay.
But most entries are based on 7 to 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So-
Okay,
we
fair.
heard about 7 minutes as a sweet spot.
7
so-
minutes is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the films that are at the top. It's the films that are at the bottom, right? So when you curate films and you give it to judges, there's clear winners. You don't always know the winner straight away, but you know that it's out of these 5 films. But at the bottom 5 films, you don't know who's actually being cut or who's in. And as a curator, when you're looking at scores, if you've got 4 matching scores that have scored across the board the same, you've got to make a choice which ones go in. You've got 2 films at 15 minutes, or you've got 4 films at 7 minutes. What choice are you going to make as a curator?
Good point.
Right.
Yeah.
And the choice is obvious. You're going to go with the 7-minute films because that's going to guarantee you more bums on seats. It's going to get more artists airtime on screen. There's a whole host of reasons why you're going to pick those durations.
Yeah.
If they're on evil footing, that's the premise of that is evil footing.
Yeah.
If they're not on even footing, then you go, well, that film's winning, so then therefore it's in. So
Well, I think it just depends on the story because obviously Because of Ava was 15 minutes, but it was just the script because I mean even then I think we were approached by people and they went, how about cutting down? And I went, obviously I'm the writer, so I went no.
yeah, see, it's been precious. Yeah.
Because
I've done the same thing. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
because it just depends on the story. You know, if it needs that, I don't believe in filler, obviously. Like it has everything needs to be essential. But if it's okay, look, we need that for character development. We need that scare. We need that element in it. Then we're gonna keep it. You know. But whereas another film that we're working on is about 7 minutes, but that was 7 minutes because it was only really a moment. It wasn't really a whole narrative, so it didn't need more minutes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tightrope, isn't it? Right? Yeah. And I say it always comes down to being precious. You go, I wrote this and it took this much time and it's not going anywhere. Okay, this is my baby and you're not going to hurt my baby.
Oh, it's hard. Yeah,
it's very hard.
It is.
It's a hard lesson to learn, but
right.
but you got to remember the backdrop of what you're doing, right? So there's you as the selfless person that goes, I want to entertain someone.
Yeah.
I want people to watch my movie and go, this is fun, right? But there's also the selfish part where you go, I want to be a rock star. I want people to see my movie and go, that was fucking awesome. So the balance between selfless and selfish is helpful when you look at those contrasts. It's helpful in being critical of your own work.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's that's the only minor criticism, by the way.
It's good.
It was well shot, well put together. Story was great. The foundation, how you came to the zombies, was good as well. The background of the news and the mystery and the discovery was great. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. But what drives you? To you, what drives you as a writer? Are you like a blinking cursor person, or are you like someone that maps out the story and then follows the map?
Well, usually the process
or different.
is...
Maybe it's different from that at all. Who knows?
So far it's been Because of Ava, it was sort of more of a collaborative process. But with other projects that we've been working on, usually I just kind of have an idea and I go, hey, Laura, I have this idea. What do you think of it? And then she goes either, yeah, it's good, or no, keep working on it, So
it's very nice of you.
So if I go, okay, cool, I have this idea. Also, the idea has to be unique in the sense that, okay, look, everything has been done. There's no brand new story out there, but how can we make it different? So with Because of Ava, we sort of realized, okay, we can make it different. It's not just a normal zombie horror. It's about toxic friends. You don't see that much. It's not even really about the zombie virus. It's more about them and their relationship.
That's true,
It focuses all on the relationship of the characters.
Actually, it's got a lot of subtext. You're right. Yeah. That's why we like it.
We felt like, it was a story of the two best friends with a zombie virus going on underneath.
That was just the backdrop. And then that kind of heightened everything and heightened the tensions.
Of course.
And then, so with the other ones, it's more just, okay, okay, we've got an idea. How do we make it different? Can we make it? Can we afford
Can we
it?
afford it? Yeah, I'm about to say, can we make it? Usually goes with the same line. Can we afford this?
Yeah. So our second film, Stay With Me Tonight, which is going to be premiered soon, that was all shot indoors because we got so sick of shooting outdoors because of Ava. We thought
sun,
it's going to be indoors.
The sun can be a bitch. Yeah.
And
the rain.
Yeah.
So that
the colour's
was
different. There's a cloud in the way. We've got to wait 30 minutes. Yeah.
That's right. And so that kind of drove that one, but it was also, it's always different. It just depends on where my brain goes.
Yeah.
You know, where we both go and
And sometimes it'll start as one idea, and as Cerise talks to me about it, then we start to brainstorm, and it goes somewhere completely different. And we're oh, actually, I think the film should be about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more of the blinking cursor idea where you're just going along you've got an idea and you're navigating that journey.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have a really good idea, but then that's it. There's no backstory that we can get from it. There's no character development. So we're like, well, that's not going to make a good film.
Oh, look, 2% of your stuff will only ever get out onto film. Really, like if you're a storyteller, you'd be standing in the shower and you go, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that story. People will love that. And you write it down and be like, oh, it really goes nowhere. Actually, it was fun for the moment, though.
Yep, we've had those.
Exactly.
Whereas, and I think also with the script writing as well, so with our second film, you know, I came up with this idea. I was like, Laura, do you like it? Cool. And then even when I'm writing it, though, it does transform. So I'll go, cool, this is the idea, but it's not done yet because it needs to have multi-layers. It's got to have it's about this, but then there's this in it too, and then there's this in it as well. So it's like, oh, wow. You know.
Yeah, context to subtext, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Layers.
Well, this is the other question I've got. I've got a few questions, obviously. But the context to subtext, I've talked to other directors and writers and editors, right? Filmmakers, storytellers.
Yeah.
And some of them don't really talk about subtext. They go, I can't think about the subtext. I've got to think about the context because I've got this zombie movie and I need to make the zombie movie. And they go, it's amazing how you did that relationship between those people. And they go, I didn't think about that at all. I just wanted to make a zombie movie. But other people go, the subtext is so important. Like, it's not about the story that I'm showing; it's the story that I'm telling.
Yeah.
So I find the blinking cursor guys, the surfers, because that's like a surfing deal, like hopping a wave and you surf.
Yeah.
Versus I've got a plan. They're the methodical ones.
Nope.
But
no
what
plan.
But what I found because this is like, I think, how many interviews have I done on this now? Like 130 for the Pagey train up to. The guys that do the blinking cursor tend to be the surfers that are the collaborative artists. What do you think that we should do in this shot, right? But the ones that do the plan tend to be, this is the shot and you're going to get it this way. There's no compromise.
I don't really agree with that at all because I feel like with me and Laura, part of the reason why I think our film did so well and why we think we've got a lot going on is because we've got two people working on it because you've got two heads. Because I might say to Laura, hey, what about this idea? And she goes, no, I don't like it. And I go like, yeah, you're right, it's bad. Or, you know, when she doesn't edit and I sort of will give her feedback on the edit, whatever. But, you know, two heads are better than one.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. What I'm saying, we've had a blowout.
Of course.
Of course happened to me, though.
Oh, gosh, this is all coming apart under here.
I expect nothing less.
I'm pretty accident prone, so it's not surprising.
There we go. We're all good. Yeah, no, I was saying in the respect of the blinking cursor is the collaborative space, but the ones that do like I'm going to write palm cards, put them on the wall, follow the map. Yeah, those map followers tend to be more strict. Yeah, in the unpacking of it. They're more of a one-man show rather than a collaboration. Yeah. No. But I find that I'm the kind of guy that's in the middle. Like I do the blinking cursor stuff, but I also have a plan. And then I look at the subtext. I go, oh, this is my subconscious at work here that's putting the subtext in. I've done this father-son relationship thing. I went, oh, man. Now I'm psychoanalyzing myself. And that usually happens when I do stories, when I write. And when I'm inspired to write. Being inspired to write is a hard thing because everyone goes, I'm going to write when I'm inspired. Well, if you approach it that way, you're never going to get anything done, man. You've got to push yourself to write.
You do. And once you start though, then the ball starts rolling. Sometimes I'm going, oh, I've got to get this script done. Laura's going to bloody hate me if I don't get it done. I'm like, okay, I'll just write it down and just write 5 words. And then suddenly like, I can do that. I like that. But you have to start it.
Yeah. So out of the duo, you start off the project by writing it. Or you may share an idea at the start, but you write it, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we both kind of talk about the ideas
Yeah,
before she starts to put pen to paper, basically. And once we have, a bit of a plan, we're like, okay, yeah, that's sounding good. Start writing, see what happens. And then, she'll go ahead and do her thing.
So at that stage, Laura, are you sort of planning, like, how are you going to edit this thing? Like, is a shot list coming together at that point?
Absolutely not. No. No. I wait until the final script is done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we go through it. And I like to visualize it and see, okay, that'd be really cool if we had like a POV shot there and then something here. But yeah, we discuss these things together as well.
Definitely.
And then, you know, again, like we bring other people on board. We have our DOP and whatnot who we tell these ideas to. We're like, oh, we thought a POV would be cool here. And then they might say, yeah, awesome, let's do that. Or they'll be like, oh, well, what about this? And we're like, oh, yeah, true, let's do that. You know?
Yeah, it's great to have a good cinematographer that does that. Yeah, for sure. Because, like, I think, just listening to you guys talk, like, you guys have got a great dynamic because you've got you're doing the writing where you've got the vision at the start, but you're sharing that vision at the start as well, where it's still that collaborative process. But then the baton gets handed over after the shoot, and now the pressure's on you, and you're doing the consult. You know,
exactly. She's the start of the relay. I'm the end.
Well, that's what makes a good director, an editor and writer. If you got there's directors out there that are great directors because they're good writers, right? But there's other directors that are really good out there because they're great editors. Because you've got to have a firm understanding of editing.
Well, Because of Ava,
you need the coverage, right? You need the coverage. What shots you need.
We learned that the hard way with Because of Ava. And then Laura had to work her magic. Crap, we're missing a shot here. Crap. Make it work.
The gaps,
I know.
And even with the script, now we kind of go through, okay, cool, how are we going to transition? We didn't know about transition shots that much with Because of Ava.
You can always go to the Star Wars and just do a wipe.
I know, that's what I was like,
Star wipe. Star wipe. I've always been trying to get a star wipe into a movie, but it's never worked. Yeah.
Just do that clock transition.
That's total sci-fi spec. So
the other one as well. We've been watching a lot of H2O, Just Add Water. A good Australian show. And their transitions with the waves just crashing across the screen. I was like, I'm just gonna chuck one in there.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can do the landscape shot. Landscape shot as you transition, segueing. That's another way to describe it, is segueing. How do you segue to your next shot?
That was something big that we learned from Because of Ava, was we got the actual scenes filmed, but then it was like, oh, how do I piece it together?
How do I stick them together?
It's like, person. Look at a tree and then we'll come back.
But sometimes a jump shot you need that jump shot for to be dramatic. Right? But then you realise now this thing is super dramatic because we haven't got the transitions in here. It's over dramatic.
I did have in one of the shots.
I need to pull that down. How do we pull that down? Oh, we could do a wipe. That's a big part of the plan, is the editing and how do you get segue to different scenes.
I think that's the hardest part, the segues.
Oh, there's some advice I can give you guys. Is music is a good trigger for this. So you'll notice in a lot of film that music will then transition into the next scene. Change from diegetic to non-diegetic. Diegetics is basically, for people that don't know, is sound that's in the movie that the audience, that only they can hear in the film.
The characters can hear.
Yeah, but then there's the God radio. So like scoring is non-diegetic, but diegetic is like, the car radio's on.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are smart and they switch between a non-diegetic and a diegetic. So the car radio's on, but now the God radio's on, but it's the same song.
We actually learnt that at uni.
We did
film
with our
studies.
music degrees.
You'll go.
We had to study the film music.
Yes.
You guys at WSU, yeah? Was it WSU? Where'd you go?
Australian Institute of Music.
I know a few people have gone there, But it's all the same deal, right? It's all the same deal. So
pretty much.
Yeah, how to do... Yeah, you would have been doing Foley and stuff around like that as well. How to do Foley, ADR.
It depended on what subject you took.
Yeah,
so we did film music.
Film music studies,
Okay. Oh, so it was more of a collection of all of those ideas into one unit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. So that's one way to do it, is to use a sound cue to transition you.
Definitely sounds.
That's been
helpful.
Cars driving by are great.
Yeah.
Car goes by.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Well, we're using a lot of sound transitions.
That's
now
just
in
a
our
wipe,
second
right?
film.
It's just another version of a wipe. It's just a visual one.
That's right. Yeah.
Poles are really good.
Oh, yeah.
Track past a pole, and now we're into a new room.
That's right.
Yeah. So you got to, and I suppose a good way to do that is to research, right? I remember when I started doing like film studies, and I was looking at a movie that I love, right, and that's Pulp Fiction, and I looked at the editing in Pulp Fiction and the cinematography. It's kind of poor, really. Like, the story's so good, you don't even notice how poorly it's put together. So my advice to to budding filmmakers: you've got a good story, you can get away with a little bit of leeway in there.
And great actors as well. I mean, they had famous actors in that, so I mean, it sells itself. You know?
You're mesmerised, right? You're distracted by them before the quality. You're looking at the quality of them, not the quality of the shoot. So, but you watch that enhance, and like something that's a real buzz for me is watching, like, over the last 12 years in Western Sydney, I've watched content go from a real backyard tinkerer to internationally recognised content. Like, these guys are going to AMC in New York, going to Edinburgh, right? And you guys are just on your first film as co-directors, man. I can't wait to see what else you guys, push out, right? But don't get dissuaded. Like, don't be disenfranchised or disheartened if your next film doesn't make it, right? Because I've seen this with filmmakers before. They get a buzz because their first one was a hit, and I've suffered this myself, actually. Like, first film I made was a bit of a hit, and I'm like, now I'm awesome, and everyone loves me.
We're in Hollywood now.
I'm going. It's a direct line. Disney's gonna call it any time. And then I made my next film, and it totally flopped. I'm like, life sucks, man. I fucking hate everything.
No, look, it's okay. Like, we understand that. We honestly,
it's hit and miss.
We don't care if we win awards. It's more about the reaction. That's what we care about. So we're in the movie, in the movie theater, and they're like, whatever it is. We're like, yes, we did it. Good job.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if it's
getting an audience reaction,
hated it, as long as it's a reaction.
Yeah.
Not that was okay. We don't want that.
So there's a strange thing that happens at the festival for me. Like, the audience watches the movies. The filmmakers watch the audience. And I watch the filmmakers watching the audience.
That's right.
It's working, man. They're watching the audience. Because when they're watching the audience, then I know, okay, man, this is the solidification of the industry. Because you guys are at the start.
Yeah.
And other guys I talk to on the podcast and through Main the West in general, like, some of them have been around for 10 years now. They're making feature films, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool to see you guys at the start, because I saw the guys at the start.
Yeah.
And you guys are like light years ahead of where they were, man. So
it's
like your trajectory is going really well. So if your next one doesn't do as well, don't worry about that.
Yeah, of course.
Just keep making it. It's about longevity in the game.
Yeah.
And passion is what drives that.
Exactly.
That's
it's about
right.
just making things that we love.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're doing this because we're passionate about it, not because we want to win all the awards and whatnot.
No.
Like, that doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, the selfish part is good, but the selfless part is there as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's part of being an artist where you're selfish. You're like, I'm writing this because I enjoy writing it. I'm writing this because I'm editing this because I enjoy editing it.
Yeah.
But hey, I want to entertain people too.
Well, that's the thing. We also make films and go, okay, who's going to watch this?
That's right.
Because I think you can make films that, the whole selfish thing of making films, but it's like, if no one's going to relate to it and it doesn't relate to society now, like, I feel as though, like, we try our best to go, okay, is this relevant now? Because the film might be great, but maybe that was great 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, the audiences change all the time.
Is there a market? Is there a market for your audience?
Yeah.
Is there a market for your products? Right?
Yeah.
So you've got to be. Another bit of advice I'll give you is like, be an unapologetic capitalist. Like, there's nothing wrong with trying to make money on your art.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and people go, yeah, but you've sold out, man. Like, man, if you have sold any art, they go, yeah, well, you've already sold out. If you sold anything that you've made that is artistic in nature, you've already sold out.
Well, it's the business side of it,
You gotta make money, man.
Well, it's either a hobby or your job. You pick.
Yeah, or a little bit of both. Like, you're
That's
probably
true.
you're probably doing a job and you're doing this on the side,
Yeah.
and in hopes and dreams, if you work really hard, do 10-hour days,
Yeah.
neglect your family, neglect your friendships,
Yep.
you may
All
get
that.
there. You may get
Bit
there.
like that.
Yeah.
It's totally like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this for a long while now, and like, big shout out to my family for tolerating my absence, man, because I'm a busy guy. Totally busy guy.
It gets like that. Yeah.
Although I do play a bit of golf with the old man these days. He's retired, so it's a lot of fun.
Aww.
Yeah, he still critiques me. I still kick his ass. Big shout out, Dad.
Love
you, bro.
Right
Love
into
you,
the
bro.
camera for that.
Yeah, right, love you, bro. Hope you listen. You do. Being an artist, you neglect other parts of your life. It's just it's nature of the beast. Unless you're doing it full time. But then if you're doing it full time, then you're still singularly focused. You're still. It's just the personality type.
Yeah.
And
it's hard.
It's the wrestle.
It is hard. It's trying to find that balance because, obviously we're starting. We're not making money from this right now. We're just doing this because we want to eventually make money from
eventually.
it. But
Yeah.
right now it's, it's our passion, it's our hobby.
Yeah.
But on the side, we still have our own jobs,
Yeah.
So we go to work then we do our film work, and then it just keeps going. We never.
And then the weekend shows up, and you're like, "Do we go out party this weekend, or do we go make this movie?"
What
Like,
weekend though? That's it. Sometimes there is no weekend.
What is a weekend? I don't even know what that is.
I forget what the day of the week it is because we're just constantly on a roll.
Well, Sunday's my big workout day. That's how I know it's Sunday.
Nice,
so Sunday
nice.
morning is like, weights, swim, run, and a sauna.
Oh, God.
Like, I know.
Full on.
Yeah, well, the rest of the week it's like a normal workout
Yeah.
regime. When you get older, you just need to work out. It's one of those things. It's terrible. I love it and I hate it, but Sunday's my big workout day. So that's time for me. I meditate. I recenter
good.
myself.
Yeah.
Because doing 10-hour days, man.
You need it.
Yeah,
You
like
do. That
you
day
guys are
off.
young, man. You guys are young.
I know.
As you get older, like that drive becomes harder, and I reckon that's where I recommend momentum. It's not all about drive; it's about momentum.
Yeah, keeping it going.
Keeping it going.
Definitely chipping away.
Chipping away.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally chipping away. See, that's a total writer's perspective because anyone that sits down at a desk is like, okay, we're going to write this thing. I'm going to write this novel in an hour. Can't this be over?
Well, and so we actually made a promise to ourselves because last year, like, that whole thing of balance, we're like, oh, we have to earn money though. Like, okay, like we can't meet up today because we have to earn money. I've got this on.
Yeah.
And then we felt like nothing was really
things
progressing.
really slowed down for us.
So we thought, okay, this year we're going to meet up twice a week and like no matter what, and we're going to just chip away and get things done because otherwise time gets away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
discipline.
we can have money,
Really-
that's great. But when we have money but nothing to do with it, what's the point?
What's the
you know?
point?
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere,
And then you realise, it's kind of that weird paradox, right? Being an artist, you want the money so that you can be self-sustainable in order to make more art.
I know.
That's right.
That's what it's actually about. It's not actually about the money. It's actually about being a storyteller and being
Yeah.
sustainable doing that.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to relieve people by saying to them, be an unapologetic capitalist. Don't feel bashful about selling your stuff, man.
Yeah, you
That's
have to.
why you're making it.
That's
It's not the
right.
only reason you're making it,
No, of course not.
but it is a fundamental in the process, man. It's a fundamental part of the equation. You've got to sell your art.
That's right.
Do.
More eyes on your art, the more it's worth.
That's
You
right.
know, and that's
That's
a simple equation, right? And as the Joker would say, man, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. All right.
True that.
But yeah, see, for an editor, it's doing promotional content. For a writer, it's doing copywriting, right? And that's how you can. And you might go, well, that's extracurricular on top of the extracurricular. So I've already got a job, right? So you try to get a job in copywriting and realize, I don't want to be a copywriter. I'm a writer.
I know.
So you don't do that. And so my advice is you have to do all those three things. It's the trinity, right? So you have to be involved in the industry that you want.
Yeah.
Do the commercial work in that space. Pay your bills. Do the art that you like.
It's trying to get a casual job that does sort of relate to it in some ways. You don't feel totally empty when you go to the job.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's helping me somehow, you know?
You won't always get that. It doesn't always work that way. Like,
I know.
I've gone from, operating a TV station, being a voiceover artist and being a, news director to, doing facilities work. It just switches, life changes.
That's right.
It's true.
But that's where that drive and momentum outside of your work, whatever it is, that drive and momentum is the key. When you get the blues, and another way to say the blues is what I say is an identity crisis. Why am I doing this and who am I?
Yeah.
Does anyone love me? And do they like my work? Or are they just saying that?
True.
You can get to these points.
True that.
That's
you
right.
can get to these points, man. When you get to those points, you got to really answer the question honestly. Like, why am I doing this? It's because I like doing it.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to stop. It's not going to end.
Yeah.
I'm too obsessed. It's obsession. It's an obsession.
But it helps having each other too, I think, because I think if we were doing this on our own, I don't know if I actually would do this on my own, own a film company and try and produce and everything. Like, that would be an absolute nightmare. So I think having each other, we understand each other.
Because it helps us push each other as well.
That's
We're like,
right.
we need to get this done.
That's
We
right.
made a promise to each other. Let's do it.
You know, and with Because of Ava, that was really hard because you were just learning everything from the start.
Yeah.
So
Did you clap your shots? Clap
Oh,
your shots?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we
We
did.
had a
Oh,
clapper.
good.
We had a
thank God.
clapper.
So
We
you
did.
can reference your material. Good. Good.
Yes.
It's good.
But there was one time when Laura was just lying on the ground and she was just, oh my God, I just can't. I said, it's okay, Laura. Like, we're still learning, but don't worry, we're going to get better. We're going to get better. But we had each other to understand that.
That's right.
You go to your family and friends and they go, like, why don't you just quit? Why are you doing this to
Why are you doing it
yourself?
for?
You're not earning any
That's
money.
right.
Why are you doing
They
it?
don't understand.
Yeah,
No, they
well, that's
don't.
the thing.
They don't understand
great
the
having
obsession.
someone that actually fully understands what you're going through, because we're absolutely in the same boat right now. Whilst like if I talk to other friends or family and I'm like, I'm so stressed, this is happening, they're like, what, why?
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, another good thing to do is with that holy trinity, if you will, the corporate work for doing writing or editing and doing the stuff you love, plus the job you don't want to do. A good way to get through that is to, how do I put this? It's like reaffirming yourself and reminding yourself why you do it. You can get sad and get distracted, and to remind other people. You got to talk about obsession. You're obsessed about this. Like I wake up thinking about film. I wake up thinking about the festival. I wake up thinking about being a muso. I wake up thinking about those things. And if I don't pursue them, I go crazy. Another way, it's a therapy session, right? Being a writer is therapy. Being an editor is therapy. Like you can go and get therapy for your problems, or you can go and tell a story and put a subtext in there without you even knowing about your own psychoanalysis doing it, right?
What are you trying to say about your own work?
That's true. Like
Put my mental problems in there.
oh look, when I was in it,
Send help.
well, I was a heavy metal vocalist, right, for a very long time. Like I did heavy metal vocals for like 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And being a veteran coming back from war, I've written albums that are about the war.
Wow.
And to get my father to understand, big shout out, Dad, going to beat you at golf next week. He'd be going, son, why are you in a heavy metal band when you got 2 degrees and you're a veteran, and why are you doing that? I go, well, I can go pay someone to talk about my problems, or I can stand in front of a paying audience and scream at them about them.
Purge it.
Why not?
Why not? And it's the same. It's the same in any forte of doing art, man. Like, art is war, man, and war is art. And I'll give you examples of that. I've said this a lot on the Pagey train, man. Like, it's cool what you guys are doing, because what you guys are describing is the intersection of art. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, and I'm a director, and I'm an editor. It sounds like an intersection of art, right? And I've got to collaborate with these other guys that are a cinematographer, other actors, set designers, costume designers, sound designers, sound operators. Like the list goes on and on and on. It's intersection of art, right? But art has been weaponized in the past. Like if you look at camouflage, it's Picasso, right? Camouflage is Picasso. If you look at military drill, when they used to march soldiers on battlefields, that's ballet. And it's set to a drum beat. It's music, ballet, and Picasso, man. But some evil little person one day has gone, I don't know how to weaponize this idea, and there's this idea that war sort of progresses humankind, in avionics or space racing and stuff like that. Guys that build rockets that go to space aren't interested in bombing Russia. They're interested in going to the moon. Is my point. The art is before. Is the horse before the cart? The Wright brothers, when they built the first plane that flew, didn't go, do you know, one day someone's going to put bombs on this, and they're going to drop bombs. This is going to be great. They didn't do that. They just wanted to fly. So art is that first intersection, but the irony is that when you create art, it is a war. When you take a photograph, it's called a shot. When you're on set, it's called action. You're in the theatre of war. You are in a collaborative team that are operating around this one device that is designed to shoot at a group of people. It is literally the format. Oh, jeez, that's the new.
I told you I'm accident prone. What's that?
That's the most amazing mic bump we've ever had on the show. That's the teeth bump. Oh, I hope you didn't chip your teeth.
I'm okay.
She's hungry.
I'm sorry about your mic.
But when I make a movie, at the end of the movie, I'm so exhausted. I've given it everything that I've got, and there's a part of you goes, I'm never ever doing that again. And then you do the edit and you release. You go, right. So what's the next project?
Yeah. We felt that way with the Stay With Me Tonight, our second film, because we only got maybe 5 hours sleep because we had so much to do, and I was doing acting where I had to cry, and it was about domestic violence. It was really full on. So I was physically and emotionally drained, and then
sounds like a war.
And it just sucked as well, because I was like, no, we have to enjoy this. We're doing this for fun. Enjoy it. We don't wish that it's over and then wish that you can just relax and sleep in. No. So yeah, it can be like that. It's like try and remind yourself it's for fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it is, but sometimes these kind of things like jogging can be for fun, right?
Yeah.
People go jogging for fun, but there's parts of running where you go, man, why am I doing this? This is so exhausting.
Yes, that's right.
But then you get to the end of it and you go, I'm totally buzzed. This is actually my health is better for that.
Yeah, it's the grind,
true,
I guess.
Yeah, the grind.
Yeah.
The grind is part of the process,
Yeah.
and sometimes we get lost in the grind and that negativity.
Yeah.
Especially the imposter monster shows up and tells you you're not good enough.
Oh gosh.
You suck at this.
Watching
awful.
watching your footage back when
Yeah.
the first time you watch it back,
Yes.
you're like, oh, it's crap. Oh no.
You're not as good as you think you are.
No,
Right.
it's in my head.
Fuck off, dude. We're gonna make this movie. I don't need this distraction.
Yeah.
So the
That's right.
imposter monster shows up, man, and then my advice is when you get the blues, man, just remember what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing this to entertain people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you're also doing this to entertain yourself too.
yeah,
It's
that's
about
right.
you. It's not just about them. It's about you too.
Mhm.
As artists, we
True.
forget that sometimes. We go, I've got to entertain these people, and they're going to have a great show. It's going to be great. I'm going to do this performance in front of this film crew. I'm going to go and direct this movie. Everyone's going to love me. It's going to be great. It's not always going to be great.
It's true.
It's going to be pain involved in that growth.
There is. Yeah.
Accept the pain. Accept the growth, man. The best thing I can do for any crew that I've ever worked with is give them the license to fail. Tell them that, because then they won't fail. You have the right to fail.
We like doing.
I'd rather you win, but you have the right to fail. Go get
Yeah.
your best for me.
Of course.
Yeah.
We like with actors. We go, okay, cool. We've actually got the take. Great. Let's just do one for fun.
Yeah.
Just have a
Yeah.
play,
I love that
and
one.
then it's usually the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Because they're
Yeah.
completely relaxed. They
Yeah.
think, oh, good, I've done it. I don't have to try now.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, they do the last take that is just for fun, and it ends up being the best one.
Yeah, security and confidence is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually use it as a reverse psychology when I've got a bad take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially when you got like a interview shot. Like, so when there's more like when you're in the art space, like there's a lot of leeway if you're like stuffing up and getting it right and getting it wrong. But when you're like doing interviews like with a celebrity or something like that, you got to get it right. And there's when sometimes when I do a take with someone, I'll say to them, "That was a good one. That's good. We got it in the we got it in the can.
Yeah.
Let's go for an excellent one. Like you don't need to worry anymore, man. I've already got what I need. Let's just go for another one. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And always that take is the take.
Yeah,
So as soon as you alleviate the pressure,
that's right.
and sometimes that pressure needs to be a lie. Especially talent. You've got a lot of talent all the time. You do. It's part of the deal. It's part of the deal. Well, the thing is that I know this sounds facetious, right? But the actor, right, they're already lying. They're in the space of lying. They're fooling us already.
I think they're being honest.
Are they? That's their name and that's what they
They're
do?
being honest.
I think they're being authentic.
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah. You can be authentic.
Mm.
Doesn't mean you're telling the truth when you're being authentic.
I guess people tell us all the time that they go, "Oh, you're really good at lying because you're an actor." I think like, no, I'm actually better at telling the truth.
Yeah.
I feel. But anyway, that's just the side.
No, but
side note.
but I guess but in that side note, it's an interesting thing because I think what you're talking about is anchoring to an emotion, which is authentic, right? But you're still playing the role.
Yeah,
It's still a
Still make
facade.
believe,
It's still a facade, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you've got to lie to that facade to get where you want, and sometimes it's to do with confidence. Like, yeah, that was good. Let's get an excellent one.
Yeah.
You know?
We did the.
I hope my crew ain't listening. Sorry, guys. Now the game is up.
We did the compliment sandwich. We go, so we loved that. That was great. We loved that you were just, really
Compliment
in
sandwich.
it.
I like this.
But then we might want to work on this part, whatever it is. Just because if you just keep going, that wasn't quite it. Can you try again? Or like, I'm not feeling it. Then they can retreat into their own shell. Right.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
psychology goes into it a lot. Another
does.
the way I deal with that one is I start on the negative.
Really?
Crap.
Punch him in the
So
face straight
bad.
up. Punch him in the face straight up. This is where it went wrong, dude. Okay, so your blocking was wrong.
Aww.
I don't think you really anchored to the emotion. I don't think you really got into that. And you didn't.
Yeah.
You felt the same thing that I felt. But what you did do is show presence. And what you did do is I can sense how you're about to bring it. Because I can feel the confidence just coming through. It's just that you just didn't quite jump off that cliff, man. Let's go for another one.
Okay.
Start on the negative.
End
Finish
a
on the positive.
note. That's
Rescue them at
true.
the end.
That's
Yeah, punch him in the
true.
face and then help him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Bang, I hate you, but I love you. Help me. Help. help.
You know what though? I think a teacher has done that to me before. I'm pretty sure I've had that when I've gone, and then they go like, oh look, that was just not right, and they're like, oh. And they go, but you know, and I'm like, oh, what? But it's hard. It's hard taking that hit.
It is, but if you, as part of the direction though, it's your baby on the line, right?
That's right.
We want to get this right.
That's right, totally.
And generally, as the director, you've probably invested into this movie. It's probably your money.
That's right, of course.
So I ain't here to waste money. I'm here to get the content, man.
You can't tiptoe around them too much because, otherwise you'll be there all day.
You can't just be the dictator though, because I've been on those sets, man.
Yeah.
I've been on those sets that go 17 takes. I'm like, here we go. Oh man, I'm sure we've got this. I'm sure we've got it.
It's a balance, it really is.
Yeah, but semantics, being pedantic, I think people can go too far. I find that more on TV actually. I find that more. Yeah, film's more liberating. People know what they've got to do when they're on a film set. They generally know why they're there. With the TV set, when you're doing a TV show, everyone's getting paid generally a good commission. Generally, saying some, not all of you, generally a good commission. But the money's on the line. It's usually about advertising revenue. We've got to get 16 hours work done in 8 hours. It's usually that kind of thing. Even on film sets, it's pressed, right? Like, shit, man, we're shooting this during the daylight, summer.
Always.
I only have this much time to shoot it, right?
Yep.
Always,
We've gone through that.
Got to plan the shoots throughout the day because this is the morning shoot and it ends at this time, so we need to do the shoot at 3 o'clock for this scene.
Yep.
And we try not, we've never actually held our crew back. So we'll overestimate.
Amazing.
We'll overestimate. We'll go, you're going to finish at 8 p.m. tonight. And they go, oh, okay. And then we try and finish early. But if not, then at least they know, okay, it's 8 p.m.
Oh, wow, you guys are a lot years ahead of a lot of people. I am horrible.
We got that advice from someone, and it was great
advice.
Exactly, because at least people are expecting that. Okay, that's where I'm gonna have to finish.
Yeah,
and then if we finish early, it's like hooray, party.
Yeah, I learned that lesson I was out in the desert doing a torture scene. So I had this guy in the middle of the desert. We're torturing him, putting cigarettes out in his eyes.
Oh my!
It's a really gruesome scene, right?
Oh god!
And we were there 17 hours.
Wow. Holy crap!
Yeah, because we did the day shoot and then we did the night shoot. And my cinematographer goes, man, you got to let this go. Yeah. We got to go to bed. I'm like, no, but we're almost there.
The work suffers though, I think.
Suffers, does. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everyone's tired. They're like, I just want to go home. Yeah. And then where's the magic?
Didn't have the budget for the other day though. Had to get it.
Well, look, we've been through that too.
It's like, let's squish everything in 2 days.
Yeah. It's hard. It really is hard. Yeah.
But look, when I go back at the scene, like I had a child on set as well. Luckily, the father was the one being tortured. I don't know if that's lucky or not.
Luckily.
Slightly better.
Big shout out, Ben. Big shout out. So he's like, my boy needs to sleep, man. I'm like, but I need him on the roof looking at the sky because like we need to melt the sky and because he's the inner child of the serial killer. And
what is happening in this film? I want to watch it.
Hey, man, I've got commission. Hey, you can check it out. It's called The Red. It's one of the first films.
Ooh, I like that title.
You can check it out on this channel if you're watching it on YouTube.
All right.
It's called The Red. Written by Matthew Lichin, and my cinematographer at the time, and I got commissioned to make this film on a very shoestring budget. We had to drive 80 k's per hour going to Cobar, which is insane. Actually, it's only 20% because it's 100 k's an hour, but it's a 10-hour drive. 20% is quite a lot of time. So I took an actor out there. I learned a lot of things actually on that shoot. One thing I learned about was the difference between stage actors versus screen actors.
Oh yeah.
So
big difference.
Massive difference. Usually blocking, it's the problem.
Oh yeah.
Blocking is the problem. So theatrical actors will be very deliberate in their motion because they know that they're being seen from a long way away, so they have to be very deliberate. And screen actors know how to play to a camera to be subtle.
That's right.
And they're night and day. Those two methods of night and day. So I learnt that. So it's hard to deal with a theatrical actor on screen for blocking. The lines were fine, but the blocking was hard.
Yeah, because the camera picks up everything. So even the slightest eye movement, the camera's got you. You don't have to try. You just play real life. Whilst if you're doing a stage acting thing, you're too big, and then it looks dramatic in the camera.
Yeah, there's leeway in that space, right? And on screen there's no leeway. It has to be very concise.
The eyes are the most important. Stage actors I don't think know that as much because they don't no one's looking at their eyes. They're looking at their limbs.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
with
It's
screen,
it's body orientated.
Yeah.
Whereas with screen acting, like
The camera's right there.
like there's
It's
been
face
times.
orientated. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and when you're being shot, we've had that where like, we go like, there's nothing going on in the eyes. There's no thoughts, and then the audience isn't affected by anything.
Yeah, I need you to anchor to. I need you to cry in this scene, and I need you to anchor to your most traumatic childhood experience. 'Cause I need you to retrofit that on this moment, and I'm going to give you $50 an hour to do it. Can you get it done?
It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've had, and that's another lesson I've learned on film sets as well. When you take an actor to a point where it's highly emotional, you got to give them time to get in and time to get out.
Oh yeah, big time.
If you're looking for that authenticity, it's not like as a junior director, you're like, all right, so I've hired you as an actor. We've just done this sex scene, and now I need you to cry in this scene here. You're like, man, that's a big, tall order. You've just gone from this. Well, you want them to be feeling. You're getting them to anchor to emotions of love, and now you're getting to anchor to emotions of torment. You just can't turn that on and off.
Yeah.
So you need to transition. So I learned that in some of the early film work I did is that, actors aren't props. They're not warm props, man. They're people
That's right.
that are trying to do a job, and you need to give them space to do that.
Yeah.
So you guys act in your own stuff.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
So we know about that.
Helps, yeah. Helps us
All about that.
acting and directing. Because
Yeah.
when we have other actors, we understand when they do need that space to get into it and whatnot. And
Yeah. Like for our third film, we needed our actress to cry, and we said, "Look, we're going to give you a moment. You go for a walk. You get into it." And then
Lovely.
she came
That's
back,
lovely.
and she was ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Good, great, take." And then if it wasn't, and like tears, we know this firsthand. Tears is not something you can switch on and off.
No.
It's going to come when it comes. And so when she had to cry and it wasn't quite there, I was like, okay, just have the camera ready.
Yeah, we
ready,
had
ready.
everything
She
set
starts
up.
crying. Action.
Yeah, we'll tail slate this one. Tail slate it. Don't need to slate. Just roll, bro.
That's
roll.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had everyone ready.
Yeah.
Oh,
Had
more
everyone
fun.
ready. And then once she came back from whatever she needed to do to get into it, then we were like, all right, we're all ready for you. Action. Just,
Yeah, you got to let it
give
compress
all-
and decompress.
give it all you got. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do.
it's a valuable lesson because that's the extreme of it. But when you go into those middle grounds as well, where you're trying to do comedy and trying to do something funny, like you still need that sort of leniency and space of emotion. And don't get me wrong, there's some people that I know that are super funny and they can just be like they're just charismatic all the time.
Yeah.
But not 98% of people aren't like that.
Yeah.
So you got to give space and allow things to happen.
That's right.
And be sympathetic of the situation as well. I need you to cry in this scene. All right, now we're doing a car accident scene. Let's go. You can't do that to people. You got to be good with them.
You do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started out as the dictator, and I sort of merged towards the. Oh, not, but a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's had a vision, right? I've got this vision, right?
Yeah,
I've got this vision. And as well, like working with crews, I find the best talent that I have in the world is finding the best in someone and getting them to express it.
Yeah.
And that's what really the job of a director, finding the best in them and getting that and that authenticity will come through into the camera.
That's right.
You want that, and you want them to sort of like, navigate the script and navigate the blocking. You want them to navigate through that space. Rehearsal. Recommend when you can. Well, did you guys rehearse for your film?
Oh yeah.
For the zombie film?
Yeah,
We did.
for Because
We
of
did.
Ava, yeah.
We worked with acting coaches too,
Yeah.
to make sure that it was sort of all there.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are like light years ahead of everyone. This is amazing. I can't believe I'm having this conversation. Because I talk to other guys like I was saying, there's some people that are like, I went to film school, went and made a movie, got a bit of notoriety, started making more movies.
Okay.
But other people like couldn't afford to go to film school, or I got kicked out of film school. There's another one. Like they didn't like me, so I got kicked out. And I just had to go learn myself, and I just wanted to make movies, and the outcome's the same,
Yeah.
right? So people will go, I want to be a filmmaker. You go, well, go get an education. Well, that's not the answer.
It's
It
not.
depends on the personality. Depends on the person and their drive and their passion and what kind of films they want to make.
Yeah.
I find that contrast between people and some people that are in the middle. But the journey's always the same. It's always about being a storyteller, and it's about getting that story out there and getting into that selfish space. I want to go and watch this audience watch a movie, man.
Yeah.
And I want to see people laugh. I want to see people cry. But for you, let me ask you this question: like, between being a writer, being an editor, being co-producers, co-directors, versus acting, which one has the bigger buzz?
Well, I think acting is still our first love.
Because that's that we come from an acting background. That's what we do. We are scare actors, actually. That's kind of where we got our love for horror from.
Scare actors. What's a scare actor?
So you know how you walk into a haunted house and people jump out at you and whatnot? That's
mad.
us.
Oh, dude, that's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah.
But it's
that's that
more.
third tier. That's that third tier. I'm working in this industry trying to get stuff done. Yeah, I like that.
Totally.
Yeah. But it's more than just
I'm
going
gonna try out for that. I could totally be a scare actor.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but I reckon I could be the drunk guy that sort of walks in like,
stumbling.
Yeah, what's
through.
going on here? Oh, we're doing the scare thing. Oh, bro, I didn't know about that. What was that?
So that means you be the entry person. So when people walk in, you're like, "Hi
You set up
guys,
the scene.
what's happening?"
You're
And
the
then
host.
You make them feel safe.
And
then they like you,
Before
and
they
then
go
you
into the
tear
dark.
away that
And
trust.
just ruin everything. Yeah, see, I could do that.
Yeah.
I love being the bad guy. Yeah, bad guy's my thing. Like, monologues. I love a good bad guy monologue. Oh, I do them all the time, at nauseum. Speaking to partners, like, me and my wife, man, can't do it without her. You need that collaboration. The cinematographers I work with can't do it without them. It's just not possible.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You need those networks, and you need to fall in love. Sometimes you marry them. You need to have that collaboration and to be vulnerable. But it's interesting, like, saying that acting is the bigger thing. So I started out as the storyteller, and then I did some acting roles. I'm like, don't mind acting.
It's fun.
It's quite a lot of fun.
Just
A lot of pressure.
pretend.
A lot of pressure.
There is pressure, definitely.
A lot of
That's
pressure.
right.
I mean,
it's the hardest, easiest thing you can ever do.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Super hard, but it's super easy.
Well,
That's
we
right.
learned through making the film that acting is actually only really a small part of the whole process. That's the thing. But obviously, if the acting's crap, then the
lets
edit
down
can
the
do only so
story.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You can only rescue it so much. If the acting's not there, and if the shots aren't there, if the shots are blurry, if the actors aren't doing their job, man, you can't put it together.
That's right.
That's right.
But I must say, as someone that's come in from the other direction, as the storyteller going to being the actor, I do get a buzz out of the acting. That's way different from being a director. Like, the director is like all the pressure's on you, and like you're usually disheartened by the time you've gotten your work out. The actor, you just show up and like, so where's my costume? All right, I'll be in my trailer.
True.
If I had a trailer.
Yeah.
True.
But but at the same time, like, you did all the homework to get there
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
right.
And when I don't know, I remember my first monologue, and it was terrible. It was so awful.
Do you remember it?
I do.
Tell
she
it
was.
for us now.
Let's go.
Oh, let me. It was about. Like, I was playing a racist in a movie where I was like talking about my ex-wives being Asian and how I love Asian culture, but I'm abducting Asians to experiment COVID diseases on them, right?
That's an intense one. Where'd
Like-
you find that one?
Yeah. Oh, a big shout out to Maria Tran. Go and check out her stuff. She's currently on The Last King of the Cross.
Oh, nice.
She's the Vietnamese heroin dealer, and I believe that she's murdering people this Friday.
wow.
Go and check it out.
Great.
Nice.
And you can check her out on Fat Pizza as well. Like trained by Jackie Chan. She's a really cool chick.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. I'd love to have you back on the show if you're listening, Maria. We did fight choreography, and because she came around, I had to do some ADR. So she had to come around to the studio, do some ADR, and she saw that there was some weapons around the studio. She's like, "Can you use these weapons?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'm a total nerd. Like, I can do this."
Yeah.
And I did some demonstrations of katas for her. She goes, "You ever had like martial arts training?" I'm like, "No, nothing like that, man. I've done training, but not like that." So then I did fight choreography with her, and she's like, "Ross, you've got to stop fighting me." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You're actually fighting me." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's what you want, right?" She goes, "But it doesn't work on screen." Because it's like
right.
when you like even just boxing someone on screen, right? You normally direct punch, right? But that's boring.
Right.
So totally like a direct punch is so quick and boring.
Yeah.
What you want to do is have a big hail maker and a big hook. Like, you'd never do that in a fight, right? Well, if anything, you're doing that against someone who doesn't know how to fight. It's theatrical. It's thespian in nature. It's very stage performance, actually,
Yeah,
what I
it
found
is.
out of fight
It's a
choreography.
Yeah, it's a whole dance choreography, really.
Yeah, you got to cock the elbows out.
Yeah.
And like you don't do that in doing katas. You keep your body small. You don't make your body big like that.
Yeah, right.
So, but you do that on screen, right? So I learned all these things with her, and yeah, she was really cool, super cool. But I had to do the monologue. The first time I was on screen doing a monologue, and she's like, "Oh, we'll do it like the Marlon Brando way." I'm like, "No, I refuse to do it," because I wanted to put an earpiece in me. I'm like, because I was so nervous and I was forgetting my lines and I was totally fucking it up. And I said, third take, I said, "Maria, let me get this. I've been practicing this for weeks. Let me do this. I've just got a little bit nervous. Give me one more shot."
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to do one more shot, and it was about, I served in Vietnam, and I had 3 wives, all from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Vietnam, all in that order. Yeah, that was the start of the monologue.
Right.
So I had to do this monologue, and you look back at yourself, and you're just horrified. Absolutely horrified seeing yourself on screen.
Oh yeah.
I remember my first memory of seeing myself on screen, because I had these big dreams of being a film star. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be amazing." And then I watched my first take. I'm like, "Oh my God, is that what I look like?" Because the first thing is, that's what I look like, and then that's what I sound like.
Like a Hermione Granger moment. It's like, is that what the back of my head looks like?
It was awful, but you do get better, and you get used to it. I mean, even with us, we have this thing. So when we watch our movie back, obviously we acted in it as well, but we're also now the directors, so we've got a different hat on. And I'm very pedantic about not referring to the characters on screen as us.
Yeah.
So I don't say, "Hey, I liked it when you did this." I go, "I liked it when that character did that."
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'm like, don't refer to me, because then I
always
get
slip
out of
into, "Oh, Cerise, that was really nice." She's like, "That's not Cerise. That's not Cerise.
It's not me," because otherwise you
great.
go into, "Oh my God," like you criticize yourself, because you think you see yourself not the character
you're creating
anymore.
separation.
Yeah.
You're creating that separation, and that's what it comes back down to, that duration, right? Because like when you're writing, like I did all this work when I edited it, I did all this work when we directed, we did all this work, and when we acted in it, we did all this work. It's all going in, okay? It's at 15 minutes and 1 second. All right, cut the credits down then.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Cut the credits down. That will do it, right? Speed up the credits. Usually that's your first point of call, right? My advice is, like, you've got to really, that separation idea is fantastic. You've got to go further than that. You've got to be more scrupulous. You've got to be more harsh. The advice I normally give I wouldn't give this advice to you guys, but the advice I give to others would be, when you direct a film, get someone else to edit it. Because they won't care about your emotions. They don't care about you.
Don't know if I want to give away my baby.
I don't think that's your jam. So I would say, go with that separation idea of being even more separated from it. You're not the writer of this anymore. You're the director of it.
Yeah.
You're not the co-writer of this anymore. You're the editor of it. You're not. You guys aren't the director of this anymore. You're the editors of it.
Yeah,
And you're not the actors in this anymore. You're the producers of it.
That's
yes,
true.
it is. Yeah.
It's practice.
It's just because we fill so many roles, so we have to go in between so many different roles. Because sometimes when we watch the edit, I do go, "Oh, well, that wasn't in the script," or whatever. But then sometimes we find new moments in the edit that weren't in the script and stuff like that. So
moments of gold. Love moments of gold.
Yes.
Yeah. The moments of gold. See, that's the collaborative artist again.
yeah.
See, with the collaborative artists, with actors, I'll say to them, I've got 6 lines for you, right? But I need you to say these 3. How you do the other 3? Don't really care. I want you to, know the actor, the character better than me, because I designed the character. Don't get me wrong.
That's right. But you did the prep.
But now you've got the prep, and you've got an emotional context with this character that I don't have.
That's right.
So I want to give you license to be that person.
Totally.
That authenticity about being real, right? I know you're lying to me right now, but I want you to be real. Yeah. That authenticity is very, very amazing. A big shout out to Quentin Young, actually. I had him as a he was recently in, I saw him on a Stan film. You guys are really good. You go for the drink when the thing's on screen.
I was going to do it. I was like, I'm not
You
going
guys
to
are
do
really
it.
good. It's because the screen's on there. Normally we don't have the screen on there. I normally tell people, like, don't worry about drinking, because you won't be on on set while you're doing it. But now that I've announced it to the entire audience, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's okay.
It's just every time it cuts back to us, it's a slow.
But now we're drinking piss. We're drinking piss, kids. Well, Laura's been really good. She's on water, so she's microdosing water. Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah. No, but big shout out to Quentin Young. I had him as like this Fight Club Tyler Durden drug dealer. And he's this, Asian dude, and he's like, so you want me to do like this Asian voice? I'm like, no, bro, man, I want you to be Aussie as, man. I want to really spin out people. I want to drive this idea of stereotypes. I actually want to erode the space. I don't want to enhance it. I want to erode the space. He's like, so I can be anything I want. I go, yeah, man. I want you to be anything that you want, but all I need is these 3 lines. The rest of it is you.
Nice.
So that collaborative space, man. And that was the film that I learned not to be the dictator. I learned, it's not about me, man. It's not about me. Like, I wrote it, I directed, yada. But it's not about me.
What made you change from the dictator?
See, yeah, even saying the dictator is still harsh. I'm harsh on myself. But what? And the reason that comes from my military training, right? I know how to run a crew. Doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter if we're blowing something up or like filming it. Like, I can run a crew. I know how to run it. Like, I can run a team, and I know how much water we need for the day. I know how much food we need for the day, and I know how much the fuel will cost to get us there. Like, I can calculate that. I'm very good at that. Because I'm so pedantic about those facts to be honed to budget. What I learned was the separation of being pedantic about budget to being free bird in directing and writing. Yep. And the way I learnt that lesson was looking at my own content and being precious. Like, this is what I've been talking about you guys, right? Like, my first film was 20 minutes. It could have been 9. I could have done it in 9 minutes.
Fair.
Yeah.
I could have. People loved it. I got a standing ovation. Like, you know.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Hearts fluttering, and you know, you got that confirmation of achievement. You know, like genuine confirmation of achievement.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good feeling.
And you're like, wow. And then I look back at it compared to my other content now. I go, 9 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the journey.
Yeah,
part of the journey. Yeah.
I mean, you learn.
Still a great film. Like, go and check it out if you want to watch it. It's called Pushing the Envelope. A drug dealer film about a guy and his mishaps and trying to impress a girl and selling marijuana.
Oh, wow.
Ends up running into the wrong coke dealer. Anyway, it's a great movie.
Great.
I couldn't afford the... there's a scene in there that I couldn't afford, which would have made it 23 minutes, where they go through a car wash and they're like in this awkward situation where they're just eating like takeaway burgers and they're like just sitting
like
there.
Like a drive-through car
Yeah.
So that's so cool.
The soap's going over the windows and they're all just sitting there awkwardly because they've got a dead body in the back of the car and they're like...
Why couldn't you just like put a camera in the car and
ran
then
out
just
of money,
actually
man. It
go?
cost me 10 grand to make that movie. It was a 10 grand film. It cost me 10 grand to make that movie.
Just actually get your car washed.
Yeah. No, I had it set up. But... Yeah,
that's right. But it's a one take. It's going to be a one take.
It will be a one take.
Yeah, you got to get it right. And there's other takes that I had to get to. Like, I can take that out of the story and still achieve the story.
That's right.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So I had to cut it out. But looking back at the edit, man, I totally got it down to 9 minutes. Still achieved the same thing. But
that's all right.
Yeah, but I was precious about the narration because I go, I've got the story to tell. I don't care what other people think. I've got the story to tell.
Yeah.
But you got to realize that you can't be that selfish. You've got to be selfless as well. And a part of that is like, you know, dismembering your own body. Zombie movies, it kind of works out. Yeah, you got to be harsh with your own content. It's the hardest lesson to learn, really is. The most organic lesson you'll learn is your voice. That's the one that the exciting part about being a writer and editor is finding your voice. That's the part I love. Where you're like, because you emulate other people's work. It's kind of like when you join a band and you go, I'm going to do some covers just to learn music.
Yeah.
So it's the same in short films. You cover short films. You go, I've seen this scene before. I want to make this scene. You know,
True.
You referenced, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But one day that will slip away, and you're just doing scenes that you like, that are totally organically from your heart, and that's your voice. Your heart is your voice.
You do find it as you go.
Yeah. See that? Yeah, spoken like a writer. There's pain and anguish behind that comment. Been up late nights, questioning my existence. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep writing. Fuck it, I don't care. No one loves me anyway.
It's not.
It's not true. It's not true. Of course it's not. It's not. But that's the emotions that we go through.
Yeah.
When you're editing at 3 a.m, you're like,
Yeah, you don't.
no one
you know it.
I'm not that introverted. You know, I acted in this movie, and I'm not that introverted. I'm quite extroverted, actually. Some people say I'm introverted, but I'm not. I even know it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my own editing this film. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know,
It's even better when Laura will spend 3 hours or something on a shot,
Like 2 seconds.
and then
of
which
the
is a
film.
2-second shot,
Yeah.
and then I go, can we just change that? I'm not quite happy with it. She goes, why? What's wrong with it? Like,
Well,
look,
can you just like slow it down a little bit more? I'm like, yeah, that's gonna take me like 2 more hours.
yeah.
yeah, the pains of
I
being
don't
an
know the
editor.
pain.
I know.
My crew come to me all the time, and I call it the whimsical request.
Mm.
It's a whimsical request.
Yeah.
Can you change the background on that? No. No, I can't.
Yeah.
Can you slow that down any more? Well, it was shot at 30 frames, and we're already at 60. And if I shut this any further down, it's going to frame lock. No, can't do it. Can't help you. Sorry. Whimsical requests. But the problem with whimsical requests is that you can get stuck in a turmoil. So you go, they're always asking me for stupid shit, and I'm always saying no. Shit, that one had a point, and I rebutted it. Now I look like an asshole. How do I recover this? Oh, surrender your ego. You were right. I was wrong. It's the only answer to the question. You have, as an editor, you have to surrender your ego a lot.
Yeah.
You do. You have to go. Actually, that is possible. I can fix that.
Well, it's a give and take, and you know, sometimes like Laura will always do her best to serve the vision, and if I go, look, is it possible, and she'll go, okay, I'll try. But that's the same with the writing too.
Yeah.
Like she'll give me feedback on my script, and I'll go like, oh look, and if I respectfully disagree, I'll give my points for. But at the end of the day, like we have to find a solution.
Yeah.
One of us will have to go like, actually, look, I trust your vision or whatever. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I'm renowned amongst my crew for the whimsical request, and they see me blow up. I go, fuck this. This isn't fucking possible. You're all fucking against me. Everyone hates me. What are you doing? Can we just release this film already? Actually, can you just like color correct that a little bit better? I'm like, actually, I didn't do the skin tone on it properly. You're right. You got a point.
Actually, you got a point.
Actually, yeah, I overreacted there.
Walk
I
of shame.
overreacted.
Walk
I
of
was a
shame.
bit emotional. I'm sorry.
I've just been up for 13 hours editing this fucking movie, and to help all of you guys,
So it's
trying to
just
get
been a long day.
just
It's
trying to get
been a
us
long
fucking
day, guys.
paid, but don't allow me to get in your way. No, you remove the ego from it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's compromise. It totally
right.
is.
Yeah.
But whimsical request. I
like that. Whimsical request.
whimsical request. I'm
Should I
like,
start
yeah.
using that?
Yeah.
So I have a whimsical
I have a
request.
whimsical request.
I love this film, but can you make everyone's skin blue? Yeah, fuck, I can do that, but that's gonna take a really long fucking time, man. Do we have the budget? Like, you've doubled the edit now. Now I've got to track every shot with this coloured tone. Okay.
Oh, frame by frame.
Frame by frame. Let's do some rotoscoping. Fuck it. I love rotoscoping. Who doesn't love rotoscoping? Okay. Yeah, whimsical requests get me upset, clearly. I'm being triggered. I'm just going to take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
You're in
We're
a
on a
safe
podcast.
space.
We're in a safe space. We're talking art and everyone's happy. So you guys are talking about a film that you've been recently making. Tell me about that. What's the name of this film?
We have 2.
Yeah.
2 films in the pipeline.
So
Jeez.
the second one is called Stay With Me Tonight.
Mhm.
That is a psychological thriller
Great.
regarding the aftermath of a victim of domestic violence.
Oh, wow, heavy.
Yes.
Yes.
Quite a heavy subject.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that a lot of people haven't seen, because when you see domestic violence in film, it's normally when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Well, when the character is in the middle of it, I should say. But this one is the aftermath. So what happens to the character after that's
okay.
happened?
Yeah.
And
Important topic.
Yeah.
Do you know that one lady a week gets murdered because of domestic violence, whether it's from a current or former partner?
Yeah.
And that's an alarming fucking number, man.
Unfortunately, it's a very common, and it's something that I think needs to be spoken about.
Fucking nice. Yeah.
Which is
Sorry to
why-
swear, like, but no shit, man. Like, this is a serious topic.
Yeah, which is why we wanted to highlight these things in our film. So yeah, that one's quite a heavy one. So
Yeah,
that's
great.
the second one coming out. And then
So it's out of post production.
I'm
almost finished.
yes,
Color correction.
so,
We're up to color
so
correction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sound design.
Yes.
Okay.
Music,
Okay.
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Righto.
All the
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Cool.
Yes.
It's going into Main and the West or what? What are we doing here? Is it 7 minutes long?
Well, no, unfortunately, this
This is
one's
even
quite a long
longer.
one.
That's all right, that's all right.
So
It's a thriller though. It has to be long.
Yeah.
How long?
Yes.
What's the duration of this one?
it's about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like, because you can't market it to us, if you give us a trailer, I'll play the trailer for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll whack it
Sweet.
in. And and put
That'd be
details on your
nice.
trailer. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you've done a
that'd be
25
awesome.
minute that you put your heart into, and especially for that topic,
Yeah.
we'll totally support you. Like
Oh,
I'm,
thank you.
yeah, no, look, I'm really big advocate for anti-violence against women and children. Like seriously, like it's 2023. You know,
Yeah.
shit, man. Why are we still talking about this?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Why,
true.
why is this still a thing? Like shit,
Yeah.
man.
Even when we were putting together information for it, I was doing my own research on it, and the COVID statistics, that was even more shocking
Yeah.
because of the lockdowns, and so
everyone was trapped indoors. Yeah.
so they couldn't get away from their perpetrators.
Yeah.
So
that was really hard to. Yeah.
that was hard to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just shocking that you don't know who it is. Could be
Yeah.
your friends, could be your neighbor. You don't even know.
Well, the problem is that like the topic prioritizes men, right?
It's not just men. It's women. It's all everyone.
But
Anyone can be a victim.
That's right. That's the point. That's the real message that's out there.
Yeah.
Anyone can be a victim, and
Totally.
anyone can be a perpetrator.
Of course, yeah.
And most men aren't doing this kind of crazy shit. It's
No.
just that there's a cohort of men out there that have problems that are doing this. There's a cohort of women out there that have problems because they're accepting this as a problem, or perpetrators themselves. So there's this cohort over there, but if we don't magnify this issue, it's not going away.
That's
That's
right.
right.
I mean, we didn't know anything about the whole aftermath thing. We didn't even think about it. We're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're getting abused. Leave. Great, you're fixed. No, you're not.
No.
Actually, that's what we realized. Actually,
all
no.
the issues really unfold after. To be honest,
You have everlasting trauma. The restraining order can generally only be 2 years maximum. So what do you do
Yeah.
after 2 years? They come
It
back.
expires. Like what? You
Or just the trauma itself. Just dealing
Exactly.
with
I
trauma.
mean,
exactly.
Just the trauma itself.
Yeah,
It's
it's hard.
full on. So,
Being physically accosted or sexually affected in this way is a life-lasting event,
Yeah.
and especially it's a prolonged event, man. Like this is not something that you can just walk away from.
Oh
No,
no,
It's going to affect you, and there's
Yeah.
there's ongoing effects with it. So Mad. I'm glad you guys are tackling a subject that is so difficult to achieve, and certainly it feels like it's a step in the right direction. So. When I get a chance, if you need someone to look at your film with a critical eye, I'm happy to do that. Just link it to me. I'll watch it and I'll give you honest feedback. Yep.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an important topic. And your
definitely.
next film, what's the other film that you're reviewing?
So then the third one is quite different
Very
in
different.
its style. So
All right, we're going to Mars.
Yeah.
We're going to Mars. We're having a psychedelic experience, and there's
that's right.
zombies that are mushrooms growing out of their face.
Yep, you hit the nail on the head there.
Love it.
No, the third one is called A Corpse in the Spotlight. And
I'm already in.
It's a 7-minute film, so it's in that sweet spot.
Okay,
And it's told completely through dance. There is no dialogue.
Risque. Love it.
Ballerina. Oh, God, do it
Why
again.
you stop doing that?
Sorry, I just want to kiss the microphone.
You're amazing. How have we gotten through this whole show? We're doing this.
My table's fallen down. I've chipped the mic.
Chip
What's
your teeth.
next?
Got to go to the dentist after this podcast. Screw things up.
No.
So a non-verbal film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all just action on screen, and it centers around the main character, who's a ballerina. So there's only one character.
So it's
actually.
film essay in nature. So it's like a film essay, film montage.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's sort of it's about her escaping. Are we gonna?
Don't overthrow it. Don't overthrow it.
I won't
Don't
release any
overthrow
more
it.
about it.
That's not.
Are you guys in production on this at the moment, or
We're
Post-production.
post-production.
Yeah,
post-production as
post-production
well?
Yeah.
You got two in the can.
Yeah. We're gonna
God.
premiere them together.
Guys, you
Yes.
guys are busy, huh? That's
Very
great.
busy.
Yeah.
Fucking light years ahead. This is amazing. I can't wait to see you guys advance and get further up into that community, man. You guys are on a great trajectory. Like,
Thank
Cerise
you.
is a heart attack. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah, because guys like myself, when we were back in the day talking about making movies, are like, do you think anyone wants to watch our movies one day? You know, and it wasn't with the gusto and the focus that you guys are talking about. Like, this is amazing. I'm so excited to see what comes out next. Can't wait to see these movies. And like, seriously, like, if you need someone to have a look at it, and I'll give you a non-biased view. I'll give you a clinical view of your film.
Yeah.
Accept it, take it, leave it. Up to you. But I'm
you.
certainly someone that will look. I see a lot of short films. Out of the last 12 years of doing this, I've probably watched over 1,000, short films from Western Sydney. Easy. I don't even know anymore.
Wow.
Working with other festivals. Look, actually, if I can do a plug right now. I've got the Burst Film Festival coming out next Friday in Penrith. Just check out Burst Film Festival Penrith, and you can be able to find us online. And of course, as well, we've got the Blacktown Arts Centre stuff coming out soon. We'll have more details out. Just go to the Made in the West and on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to see all that good content. But we've got some good content coming out from previous artists from Made in the West, getting some representation for Western Sydney, and getting some artists paid, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
We love that.
So close to selling your film, by the way. I was very close to selling your film, and they're like, too violent. We'll bring him round. Give it a few more years, we can sell that movie. to local.
Yeah.
Look, as well, like you guys, not just you guys, all you guys that enter Made in the West, we have an archive of those films there. And we have people that need stuff for, train stations, malls, aircraft, short films on airplanes, and like there's so many markets that we're getting into.
Didn't even know that they did that.
Yeah, that's why I need to bring it up, because like I talk to artists about this, like, I didn't even know that you could sell this there. Your film would be perfect to sell to an airline, man. It really would.
Noted.
Because you could sell your film, like,
cool.
the way I could see your film being sold is definitely, you won't be able to sell it on a Qantas film, you won't be able to sell it there, but you'd be able to certainly sell it on like European airlines, and sell it as a short film and go, this is an Australian independent short film.
Nice.
Easily sold. Your film will totally sell in that space.
That's cool.
Won't get a fortune for it, but you'll get something for it.
Something's better than nothing.
Something's better than fucking nothing, man. Shit, man. And that's what I'm trying to awaken in people, is that there's multiple markets out there.
That's right.
Western Sydney, if you look at the content, like, because I watch a lot of content, and the content that's coming out of Western Sydney is always a surprise. Like, I never walk into that a film that comes out of Western Sydney going, I know what's going to happen here. Never happens. And if I ever do, I'm always wrong.
Right.
Always wrong. If I see films that come out of different regions in New South Wales, I can go, oh, I know where this movie's going. It's very predictable. The film, and look, just a big shout out, guys. Like, seriously, like, heavy Terminator-looking dude with really crisp abs, rescuing the damsel in distress that is blonde, big-breasted, and a little bit dim-witted. That story's been told a lot. Just saying.
Damn, that goes our next idea.
We sold that movie. You can't sell that movie.
Oh, man.
But I tell you what, films that we've had out there in the past, like Towelhead, that, talk about, issues about artists and how people are in struggle because of stigmatism. Movies like Melon Grab that talk about how friendships can evolve through skateboarding through Western Sydney. Films that explore relationships and turn into a zombie film. These films are like these are canon for me. When I look at these films, I go, man, you guys talk about originality, right? What you're doing is you're going outside of referencing of pop culture. You're actually referencing genre, and that's a harder thing to do. Like, a lot of us will reference pop culture. Like, if you look at, like, and don't get me wrong, Stranger Things, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Built on a platform of subtext of subculture referencing. That's what it's built on, right? And that's great and entertaining, because we can be reminiscent. We can indulge. We can have a sense of indulgence through that.
Yeah.
But I would argue with you. I think, you're doing a genre that's been done before, but you're certainly taking an original take on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that direction is really good. And I think, you're onto something good there. So keep going.
Thank you.
That's why we actually did horror as well, because we thought, like, there's so much bad horror out there. It's like, why don't we make some good horror and then we'll stand out? And obviously, like, you learn as you go.
Yeah.
And, no one's perfect. But yeah, it's such a fun genre because it's just the zombie genre is just a subgenre. Then you have like vampires, and then you have
That's true.
sci-fi horror. Then you have, like slashers.
Yeah.
So, and everyone, I feel like most people will give horror a go.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's a horror.
Oh, it's a good access.
Yeah.
It's a good access genre.
Yeah.
It's a good access
definitely.
genre,
Yeah.
and it's not overly. It's not too heavy on the budget. Generally, the makeup and effects cost the most on a
They do.
genre film.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a horror genre film and a sci-fi film. Really, generally the sci-fi ones is the set that costs more. In the horrors, it's the makeup and effects.
Yeah.
But it's totally accessible. But you guys are doing really well, and I'd like to see you back here in a couple of years on the Pagey train. That'd be great.
Aw.
That'd be so cool,
Yeah.
actually. Like how far we've come.
That's true.
Yeah, hey, it'd be great. Yeah, because now we've got the origin story, right? It'd be great to see you guys promoting your next film
That'd be cool.
on the Pagey train. But hey, look, if guys are looking for you online, where can we find you?
Instagram.
Well, yeah, so you can find us there. Whoa, what was that? You can find us on Instagram. We're on TikTok as well.
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
And just search After You Productions.
Oh, that's 3 times. You're very good at that. You're very good at that.
After You Productions.
After You
Good.
Productions. Go
There
and
you
put that into your Google search engine and go bananas. And check out Because of Ava. Yeah, you can practically taste the brain matter. It is a very good film. Yeah, look, guys, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show today. It's been an absolute privilege talking to you. You've enlightened me. You've inspired me. You've reminded me about why I do what I do, and I hope I've reflected some good energy towards you as well.
Totally.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us and for your advice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Go out and get it, guys. Like as co-directors, man, the world is your oyster, and if anyone gets in your way, just send them my way, and I'll sort them out.
That's right.
We have backup.
Yeah. I'm the heavy-hitting geek from the Western Sydney suburbs. That's we'll go. You leave my friends alone.
Wow, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but once again, thank you for being on the show.
Yes, thank
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, you've been watching the Pagey Train, and you can check us out on Spotify. That's right, video on Spotify. And don't forget to follow us while you're there. And you can check us out on YouTube. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe. And hey, look, if you're one of those avid listeners, you can check us out on Apple iTunes or iHeartRadio. Basically, anywhere you can find podcasts. You've been watching the Pagey Train, and we'll see you next time. Sonic boom. Thanks, guys. That was fantastic.
Yay.
That was a great interview.
Yay.
Awesome.